how's it going? It is your muscle building coach, Lee Hayward here, and right now I'm with my old man, with Dad. How's it going? And we just finished up a workout. We did a father and son workout up here at Platinum Gym. So it was one of the workouts that I published for my Get Back in Shape New Year's program. So it's the 3 times a week total body workouts. Today we did workout 1, so it was focusing on total body using compound exercises. Basically the way the program works is it's doing all the major movement patterns of the body. So we did horizontal press, horizontal pull, overhead press, overhead pull, leg press, did some work for the core, and we broke out the camera and videotaped the whole thing. So me and Dad finished up the workout now. Gonna head home now and get a post-workout meal, but I'll be posting up the whole routine, so check it out. And if you have any comments, leave them down below. I always love getting your comments and feedback. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Enjoy.
So after a 10-minute cardio warm-up, we're going to jump right into the strength training portion of the workout. And for this routine, we're going to be doing one exercise for each of the major movement patterns. So starting with the lat pull down, which is an overhead pull, then we're going to get into an overhead press, horizontal pull, horizontal press, etc. I'll take you through each one as we go through the workout. But the idea here is we want to just start off light, build up our conditioning, build up our work capacity, and simply get back in shape after away from the gym. This workout series was actually shot back in the winter. My dad and I went in there back when there was still snow on the ground, and we shot all these workout videos right before the gyms got closed down due to coronavirus. And I didn't want to release this series back then because I thought, well, what's the point of releasing a beginner's get back in shape workout routine when the gyms are closed? I mean, it doesn't make sense. But now this is a prime time to be releasing this because the gyms are starting to reopen again, and there's a lot of people who could benefit from this type of training. You know, the whole idea of let's get back to the gym, let's get back in shape again. So the timing actually kind of worked out in our favor. Now, as you'll see with the exercises, I do my set, then my dad does his set, and as we're going through the workout, I'm coaching him on how to improve his exercise technique and how to fully activate the muscles. And you'll notice that his form probably looks a little different than mine. So I would prefer you try and duplicate my form over my dad's form, right? Some of the exercises, there was a little bit of swinging, a little bit of cheating. His posture might have been a bit off. And I actually used this video to help coach him with that because it's so much easier to see your exercise form in that third-person perspective on video afterwards, and it really helps you to correct your technique. If you're struggling with an exercise, get somebody to video it and then watch the video back afterwards, and you'll be amazed at how much you can learn by watching your own exercise form on video after you do it. Next exercise in the workout is the dumbbell shoulder press. Now this is basically the opposite movement of what we just did. With the lat pull down, we did an overhead pull. Now we're doing an overhead press. And I like to structure my get back in shape beginner workout routines like this because it works all the major movement patterns in balance and proportion. With this exercise, you really want to focus on trying to press those dumbbells straight overhead. And if you have any issues with shoulder mobility or flexibility, it's going to become apparent because a lot of people have tightness and stiffness in the shoulders and upper back. I tend to press the dumbbells in line with my head and straight overhead, and that's because I've actually worked on improving my shoulder mobility and flexibility. In my dad's case, he's kind of arching back and pressing the dumbbells more to the front, almost like a really high incline bench press. That's kind of the position he's in, and the reason for that is because he has some issues with shoulder mobility, and this was the first time that he's actually done this exercise. And again, we're using the video as a tool to help coach him with that. And as far as the weight sets and reps, we're doing 3 to 4 sets of each exercise, starting off light, keeping the reps between 10 and 15%, and just increase the weight with each set. But we're stopping short of failure. There's no need to push the limits right now. Focus on just trying to learn the exercise, master the technique, and simply enjoy being back to the gym again. I mean, there's going to be lots of time later on when you can push yourself with higher intensity and more volume and all that kind of stuff. For now, just focus on mastering the basics and enjoying your workouts. And moving on in the workout, we're going to do a horizontal pull with the seated cable row. Going to start off light, do 3 to 4 sets, increase the weight with each set, and keep the reps in between 10 to 15%. Now, the main thing that you really want to focus on with this exercise is pulling your elbows back. Like, as you're doing a rowing exercise, just think of your hands as hooks holding onto the handle and really focus on rowing and pulling your elbows back and squeezing your lats. Like, as you do the exercise, purposely stick your chest out and arch your back and really try and squeeze and contract your lats. This is something that's going to take a bit of practice. Like, my dad has a bit of trouble with arching his back and expanding his chest. You can see he's kind of rowing with his arms a little bit. And we're working on improving that. But ideally, you want to expand your chest, retract your shoulder blades behind you, contract your scapula, and pull your elbows back so that you really activate the back. You want to squeeze and contract the lats and the rhomboids and all those muscles throughout the back. That's what we really want to focus on with this exercise, not simply pulling the handle to your torso. Because when you just focus on moving the weight, very often you're not activating the muscles of the back. The biceps and the forearms come into play too much, and there's not a lot of lat activation. That's the whole idea of keeping the weight moderate and really trying to get that mind-muscle connection. And just to let you know, when it comes to training the back, this is one of the hardest body parts to get that mind-muscle connection in, because the back is out of sight and out of mind. You can't physically see your back when you're doing it, and that makes it difficult to develop that mind-muscle connection. So it really helps to have a video and a coach and kind of to review this stuff over and over again until it becomes ingrained and second nature for you. But the cool thing is once you get it, once you finally get that mind-muscle connection, you will see your results just skyrocket. I mean, you'll start to get that nice development in the back, that V taper that so many people want. You'll feel the muscles squeeze and contract, and you won't need to lift super heavy weight. In fact, I would actually recommend going a bit more conservative with the weight and focus on feeling the muscles squeeze and contract with each repetition. Slow down the form, really feel those muscles working, and you will get a better muscular contraction and ultimately more muscle development throughout the lats. Now we're going to do a horizontal push with the seated chest press. Now for this, you could do any type of chest press. You could use a chest press machine, you could use a bench press, you could do barbell, dumbbell, heck, you could even do a push-up. It's the same basic movement pattern. All we really want to do is focus on the movement patterns in this workout. So you notice we did overhead pull, overhead press, horizontal pull, now we're doing a horizontal press. Now this particular machine that we're using right here is a Life Fitness isolateral chest press. And all that means is each side is independent of one another. And this is good because it allows you to have equal development between the left and right sides. Sometimes we develop an imbalance in our strength, and this is actually quite common. Most people are stronger in one side than the other. It's usually your dominant side. If you're right-handed, chances are your right hand is going to be stronger than your left, and vice versa. And you'll notice that when it comes to different exercises. You may actually press and feel more of the workload in one side than the other. So by using an isolateral machine like this, or by using dumbbells, you help to correct that imbalance. You force both sides to handle an equal workload and thus develop equally over time. Now, with this particular one, the main focus is on really feeling the chest muscles. And what I like to do when you set up for a seated chest press machine is have your upper arms at a 45-degree angle to your torso. So in the case right here, we're actually elevating the seat higher so that our elbows are lower. And we want our elbows lower than the height of the shoulders. When you do that, it places the shoulders in a more natural position. It takes some of the rotation out of the shoulders, and it places more of the emphasis on the chest and the triceps. So if you find shoulder pain to be an issue when it comes to bench presses or chest presses, using this technique of having your upper arms at about a 45-degree angle to your torso and the elbows lower than the height of your shoulders, that will help to take some of the rotation out of the shoulder joint and make it more comfortable. And after doing all the major movement patterns of the upper body, we're going to do the leg press to work the lower body. And this is a great overall leg exercise. It's going to work the quadriceps, going to work the hamstrings, the hips, the glutes, basically all the major muscles of the lower body. And it's a very simple exercise to perform. So it's great for a beginner's get back in shape workout. Now, as far as the sets and reps, Same principle applies. Start off light, go through the motions, keep your reps between 10 to 15%, and then increase the weight with each set. And with the leg press, you can experiment with different foot positions. Now, it depends on the type of leg press that you're using. It depends on your own body type. But I find that people with a thicker torso tend to find it more comfortable to have their feet higher and wider on the foot plate. This tends to give you a bit more space and allows your legs to go around your midsection, if you will. So where I'm a bit thick in the torso, I tend to like the higher, wider foot position. But you can experiment. Some people like to have their feet lower on the foot plate. Some people like to have them closer or whatever, different positions. Play around with it and see which works the best for you. Typically, the higher and wider you place your feet, the more emphasis is going to be placed on the hamstrings and glutes. And the lower and closer you place your feet, the more the emphasis is going to be placed on the quadriceps. It's not that one is right or wrong, it's just different. And I want you to experiment with the different foot positions to see what works the best for you. Another little tip that I'm going to share with you here is don't go too deep with the leg press. Like bending your knees to a 90-degree angle is plenty. You don't need to over-exaggerate it, because what often happens is when you go too deep, sometimes that causes the lower back to round in the bottom position, and this can actually place excess strain on that area and be a risk of injury. And we don't need that, right? There's no legal requirement for depth when it comes to a leg press. So just work within your own comfort zone, your own range of motion. Usually a 90-degree angle in the knees is plenty. And if you find that you need more time under tension, then just do more repetitions. I mean, it's okay to do 15, 20, or even 25 reps per set if you have to. But don't try to go too deep and place unnecessary strain on the joints, especially on that lower back area. It's just not worth it. And to finish off our workout, we're going to do some work for the abdominals using the ab crunch machine. Now, every gym is going to have different forms of abdominal crunch machines. The one that we have here is a Nautilus crunch machine, which I really like. But if you don't have this particular one, then you can use whatever crunch machine variation you have available at your local gym. And if you don't have a crunch machine, you can do body weight abdominal exercises. You can do crunches lying on the floor. You can do decline bench sit-ups. Whatever you have available. I mean, there's always exercises that you can do for your abdominals, and it really doesn't matter which particular move you use. The main thing is that you're working the muscles. Now, when it comes to the abdominals, higher repetitions and more time under tension is the way the abs like to work. Like, nobody's going to ask you, like, what's your 1 rep max crunch or what's your 1 rep max sit-up? So heavy weight is not important here. What's important is actually feeling the muscles work, getting that burn, getting that time under tension, really developing that mind-muscle connection with your abdominals. That's what we want to focus on. And there's different variations that you can use. Like right here on the video, you'll see that I'm actually straddling the bench on an angle. And by doing so, it works more of the side abdominals, that oblique area. And you can play around with different variations like this. You can do them with your knees placed straight ahead. You can do them with your knees on an angle. Different positions are just going to target different areas of the midsection. And I like to switch it up. So I usually do 1 set facing straight ahead, 1 set with my knees to the side, and then another set with my knees to the other side. And this really works the full spectrum of the abdominal muscles, the front and each side, for good overall development. But again, you can experiment with what you have available at your local gym. The most important thing when it comes to the abs is not the actual ab exercises themselves, but losing the body fat that's covering the abs. I mean, if you want to have a lean, tight, toned midsection, you need to burn the body fat first. That's the most important thing. The strength training, the workouts, that's just going to build up the muscles underneath. But you need to lose the fat that's covering the abs if you actually want to see them. And to finish off the workout, we're going to go for a walk on the treadmill for some post-workout cardio. Now, this is kind of optional. Like, if you're pressed for time, like, you could skip the post-workout cardio if you want, but it's a great opportunity to cool down, to reduce some of that lactic acid buildup in the muscles, and it's also going to help to aid with fat burning. So if fat loss is one of your primary goals, doing cardio after your workouts is a great time to tap into burning stored body fat for fuel. I mean, I'd recommend a minimum of 10 minutes and ideally do more. I mean, heck, if you can do 20 or 30 minutes, then go for it. Do it. It's going to help to burn that body fat. Now, with post-workout cardio, just do some low intensity, like walking on the treadmill is fine. Or if you want, you can use the elliptical or the stationary bike or whatever. But, don't go killing yourself with high intensity cardio after a weight training workout. Low intensity, steady state cardio is optimal for burning body fat and aiding with recovery. So there you go. That concludes the workout. Now, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback about it, please feel free to post those down in the comment section below. I'll always chat with you down there. And make sure to stay tuned for more workout videos. Like myself and my old man, we shot a whole series of training videos together up at Platinum Health and Fitness, and I'm going to be putting those together into a complete playlist for a basic beginner's get back in shape gym routine. So if that's what you're looking for something sustainable, realistic, and practical to follow to help you get back in shape after quarantine, then you want to follow this workout routine that I'm posting. Again, I didn't intend to make this for the whole COVID situation. I intended to make this as a get back in shape after New Year's type of program. But of course, that's around the time when the gyms closed and everything else. So, we got postponed with it all. And now it's being put off as a get back in shape after quarantine workout program. Same principles apply either way. So go ahead, subscribe to the Total Fitness Bodybuilding YouTube channel if you haven't already done so. And I also have another bonus that I'd like to share with you. And this is a complete training guide that I put together that outlines how I went from fat to ripped after 40. So if fat loss is one of your main priorities, you'll definitely want to check that out. So I'll have a link to it in the description below and down in the first comment to this video below. You can go check that out. Again, download it. How I Went from Fat to Ripped After 40. It's a free 69-page PDF ebook, and it will give you some deep insights into the mindset, the inner game, as well as the nutrition that's required to lose fat, build muscle, get in shape, and do so without starving yourself or feeling like you're on this crazy extreme cutting diet. So go ahead, download that, and I will talk to you in my next video. Take care. Over and out.